Okay, so welcome to this brand new show called Mastering the Game. My name is Kashyap, and this is such a big deja vu for me because I did my first ever show on September 1st, 2018, and I remember how nervous I was. I was making a lot of mistake. I was doing an interview with Jagdish Chaturvedi. I didn't know what to ask, what questions I'm going to ask. And even now, if you can see, I'm also getting nervous because this is something that I'm restarting doing a show because this is what I love. This is what I love to be in front of people. So now, since that time, we have come a long way. We have created multiple assets, multiple businesses out of just that one decision of starting up. I remember watching this Gary Vee telling us that we must produce content. So we started off a page. I think it was not a page. I think it was on my personal profile. I was doing live shows like this, and I was, I would go live on every Monday called Mentor Mondays, and I would just call up people and talk about mentoring because previously I was struggling to get the right kind of mentor, and that was the origin for us to start something called our first ever business called Find My Mentors. So we started off Find My Mentors in December 2018 as a page where people can come and ask for mentoring. So from there, it was not easy to get traction in the beginning, but I get a call from someone and ask about, hey, can I take your uh, can I take your branding for sponsorship because we are coming up with our own investment like similar to a Shark Tank. Can we take your logo? I said, why not take it? So they go on and start the investment platform, and they happen to be one of these big people. So if you see one of the big Shark Tank type kind of a show, it is happening nowadays. We are one of the earliest sponsors. And then I get a call in February that, hey, would you like to, if you need to continue to sponsor us, you need to pay 5 lakh rupees. So that's when I thought, okay, this is not something that we can do. So I thought, why not we ourselves do this? Why don't we do the start the investment platform on our own? So that's where the whole start of the Lions Lair started. So I went to few investors, talked to them about the whole concept of what we are trying to do, Shark Tank, because during those times we were all only watching our things from US markets. We were not we didn't have any exposure to that market in India. So a lot of startups looking to invest, looking for to raise investment, they didn't have a platform. Um, so we launched our Lions Lair platform. During that time, I was going through multiple challenges in my personal life. We launched the Lions Lair, and it was a big hit. A lot of we were able to create a space for investors to meet the startups, and a lot of startups would come pitch with us, and that was the start of the whole Lions Lair process. And during this time, we met a lot of startups, and we realized that 90% of startups are not good to raise investment. So, and they were not able to afford our multi-lakh mentoring as well. So we thought there must be a space where where entrepreneurs can come at a low ticket, and they get high value. They can get connections, they can get mentoring, and they should not be expensive for startups. So what would that be? So I was thinking like this, and then I'm someone who keeps looking at Amazon. During those times I was reading like plenty because it's all about learning. That's what takes us forward, isn't it? So we all know this book called Think and Grow Rich, right? So I just searching, and I get to see, maybe I was searching for how to do meetings, for example, how do I create a community or something. Maybe I was searching for that on Amazon, and I get this book called Meet and Grow Rich. So this sounds really fascinating. I ordered the book, and I was reading this book, and that's when I really understood the power of this book. So in that book, he is talking about he's talking about what is a mastermind, how do we run a mastermind group. That was the first time I got to know the formula to run a mastermind. The formula is very simple. You need to have 4 minutes of discussions, and then there's this next 6 minutes of problem solving. And that was because prior prior to that, we have not done any kind of event or anything, meeting people, organizing people. We had never done that, but that was the first time I got the idea. So I then go to someone and tell him that this is the formula. We have found it. We should start this. I remember, we had just finished our, taking pictures from startups Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock, and someone says, Kashyap, let us do this. So we made a decision, and we decided, okay, let us have our first meeting on Saturday. We had, of course, because a lot of startups had come to us, we created a WhatsApp group. Even today, that WhatsApp group is there. It's called Tankrola Bangalore, and so we started inviting people that, hey, there is a meeting coming up, networking meeting. You need to come. So we started bringing in people, started talking to, you know, come to the meeting. So it was, I remember, it was raining. It was on a Saturday. I think it was 27th of July, if I'm not wrong, 2019, when all these people come in. So, and so I had a small presentation to make, talking about what is a mastermind. The same things that I borrowed from the book, and I started talking about mastermind and what is going to happen. And we made them sit in circles, and they started discussing. And me and Sovan, we were sitting, in front of the row, and we saw people are getting very good value. So question was, what next? What next? So we made a simple decision that, okay, let us create a business model that these meetings can continue, because we saw people are getting so many insights. They were discussing, they were um, sharing ideas, solving challenges, shaking hands that, hey, we should work on this, we should do this. So that is what I myself wanted when I was doing my own earlier startup. So this was really fascinating, that I wanted to have that for entrepreneurs. So we decided on that spot that let us create a, weekly meetings, and once in a month there will be something called mega meetups. So we're gonna like bring a mentor, and you're gonna like connect with that person in person, in person. So that was our origins. Now why I'm sharing all this is because, um, if I had stopped myself from doing that first ever episode, being nervous, I would not have got the start that, created what all we have created so far. So if you are going through any kind of a startup trouble, it is uh, it is tough. It is tough. Let us be clear about it. And I think I've learned few lessons out of my journey so far. So the lessons is that you need to be persistent. Okay. So let me continue the story quickly, and I'll come back to the lessons part. I think that's better. So we did the launch the Tech Lab, and then the pandemic happened, and pandemic really crushed us. And then we had to restart our journey from scratch, and that is where the whole angle of learning to depend on others for restarting up happened for me, because that's when, uh, because when you have momentum, it is easy to keep scaling. But when you don't have momentum, it becomes very very tough to continue to grow the business. And that is where the whole partnerships angle worked for me. That's when we started working with Mukunda Foods. We started working with multiple partners. We started creating communities. A food mastermind happened, and then the whole journey restarted for us. So, and today, the Tankroad Club is a $1.5 billion community. We have founders from multiple industries. Now, it is not about these big names, and all these people. You might be thinking, Kashyap, what is this? These people are all big, but how is it going to help me personally? Now, the idea is, guys, this is, big contracts can happen when you meet these people in person, isn't it? So that's where this community is a space where you can get this big contract. For example, Kalyan walked into one of our meeting, and he was able to crack his 1.2 CR deal, and that's what we want to facilitate. These big founders I have observed also want to connect with these founders to help. They're very well natured, very good people. They want, because they have themselves gone through the grind, and they really appreciate a platform like ours, where, because we are providing them that mentoring, that access that they themselves needed. And that is the reason why we do what we do, guys. Okay. And I've learned some lessons which I wish I myself knew when I was starting up. Is uh, I used to think that I need to know everything. I need to prepare my product, and then I need to go to the market, and then people will start buying. That never happens. There is nothing called a perfect time. The worst thing that you can do as an entrepreneur is preparing a product. There is no nothing called a preparation thing. So I have seen the smartest entrepreneurs Leveraging, if you master the whole concept of leverage, there are amazing books. You can read books from J Abraham, like amazing books. He talks about leverage, the art of leveraging, because all of us as entrepreneurs, we're struggling for resources, isn't it? So if you learn the art of leverage, you are not depending on your own limited resources, but you are able to leverage other resources. That is the biggest shift that I went through, and that is something that is really helping me to like scale my business as we speak. And second thing is, I used to think that I'm a small person, and why would a big person look at me, talk to me? No, I am not ready. I'm a startup. I'm a small person. I'm not prepared enough. All those things, right? That mindset that we all go through. And I want to tell them this story. Now imagine there is this pond, there is this big pond, and you are one of the you're one of the particles at the end of the pond. Imagine you're one of the bubbles, let us say, okay? The bubble is and in the middle of the pond there is this fountain. The whole fountain is like in the water goes up and comes down, the whole process. The bubble, imagine you're the bubble, and bubble is coming towards the center of the fountain. It rises up, and it is going up and it is falling back down. Now, so I had this problem of I'm small person. So that's when my mentor told me that imagine that you might be behind in the fountain, but you're pushing a bubble above you, going higher and higher. That was a big insight that really changed the way I think, because I used to think I'm not good enough, I'm not big enough. But even if I'm small, I can help a bigger company. And that was a big shift. That is a because we our life is limited. We ourselves stop our own progress by telling ourselves all these concepts that we have heard, that we have experienced, our belief system. That is what is stopping our progress. And number three that I have learned, the lesson number three in my journey so far, I've learned is you need to have your own zone. You cannot make everyone happy. There are good people, bad people who will criticize you, who it might be from your own family, it might be from outside. You need to know your own vision. The more clear you are about your vision, the more results will happen to you very clearly. Because the problem with our mind is 70 to 80% of our mind is thinking about our past. Correct? Because see, our mind is always scared. It doesn't want to go forward. So we tend to become very stuck in what we are thinking. So what we need to do during those times is have a clear vision. We need to have a clear vision. About visualization is everything, right? Even Sachin Tendulkar does that before going to the match. He does that visualization. So we need to have clarity about what I want to do, and completely be part of that future vision, and be clear, expect that it is going to happen. A lot of times I've seen people when they do visualization, they have a big high vision, but they don't actually take that seriously, because it becomes, what happens is it creates stress as well. If you have big vision and you don't expect that to happen, it creates stress. There's a lot of gap that gets created, that you feel depressed as well, because you have that big idea that you want to be in that direction, but you see the reality is not matching. Correct? What happens is creates negativity. So what I do is, you don't have a 3-year goal, but I would create a 3-month goal, which is much more approachable, and you can visualize that success. Typically the first thing in the morning, when I wake up, I because that is when our mind is at a theta level. It's like, in a Hindu thing we talk about, there is something called Brahmi Muhurtam. So that is the best time to program our mind, because that's where it's very calm, and that's when you can need to visualize. And if you want to do your affirmations, that is when the whole thing works. And uh, and of course meditation helps, because as entrepreneurs we are so much stressed, so much of running around. I've learned that by I think, what I've learned is, we have all heard that cleanliness is next to godliness and all that things, right? So basically, if you actually look at it, money is all about organizing something, correct? Organizing the whole idea, because every idea is a $1 billion idea. What I've learned is, it is all about organizing that idea and making it happen. So there are a lot of solopreneurs who are very much passionate They have a great idea, they start off, but and they say, look, if I get this investment, I can take my business to the next level. They keep telling you that, correct? But the whole idea is, there's nothing called a secret idea, because ideas are plenty. As I said, the idea is, the whole big idea of the ideas is about organizing the idea. And that's where my lesson was, learning about systemizing business. That was my big insight that really changed my life. Because I used to think that I would just get the sales and everything would be fine, but that is not possible, because you can only do certain things in your limited amount of time. So if you learn the aspect of how do you organize an opportunity, it's like water. It's like water, and there are a lot of rocks which is stopping the water flow. So if you clear the rocks, that's what is called creating systems and efficiencies. The water flow will happen. It's the same. Money is a form of energy, and I have learned that by organizing, everything is organizing. Everything that you see in business is all organization. So, as young people, as bachelors, we used to feel proud that we throw our things, and we're not organized. But the real thing is all about organizing. The more you master the art of organizing an opportunity, the more will happen. And probably the last lesson that I want to share right now is the aspect of value. Value is something which is always shifting. If you see, this value is used in multiple terminologies. We hear business valuations. So we value certain things. For example, we value, let's say we watch a movie, we find it valuable, we talk about that to 10 people. So value is not the same. For example, if there is a Bahubali movie, and if someone else tries to make a copy of Bahubali, it may not be same or valuable. So basically, there is always this the human beings are looking for value. They're looking for value. It must not be completely different, but slightly different. So this, if you understand this aspect of capturing value and systemizing that value around it, that's when the whole opportunity is, I've seen. Okay. So, and value is not about nobody has done it. It's not about that. It might be a new approach of existing opportunity. Correct. So it's like, we used to order food from calling up a local restaurant, but today we have Swiggy, Zomatos, and we call. So it's a new approach for an existing opportunity, right? So value keeps shifting. The way the delivery of value keeps shifting to the customer. So if you're able to identify the trends, then you can master the game. Okay. So that was the introduction about the mastering the game. So what we will do as part of this series is, I'm going to do live shows like this regularly. And I love this because as I said, we started off our journey doing content, and I really love to meet people connecting like this. And I'm going to share the best lessons, and I'm going to like document the journey. And at this stage, the 10 Crore Club is going through relaunch, and we have amazing founders coming, and a lot of networking happening. And if you are watching this in Bangalore, please come down to any of our meetings. You can experience the whole power of quality networking, quality discussions. We do mergers and acquisitions. So quite a lot of things that is happening right now, because this is something. This was my vision. I myself was looking for, when I was myself creating a watch for elderly, I didn't have a platform like this. So this is your opportunity to come and experience founders. We are all hardworking founders. We are all bootstrap founders. You can be part of the community. And so I said we'll have interviews as well. I want to restart, because this has been some time since I did interviews. I'll bring guests, big founders from locally, abroad, so that you can learn the aspects of what is going on in the market, so that you can make notes and go forward. So if you're watching this, please like this wherever. If you're watching this on YouTube or wherever, please like this and give me a thumbs up, because it is tough. It is tough to create content, and I'm telling you, after doing this for 6 years. Okay, so it is tough, making mistakes. I've learned my art, and if you are starting up, please create content. I think that is a magic. I highly recommend start off creating some content. This was completely. I have small. This ones I have, so I've just scribbled some notes. But I made a decision to like start talking, because live is something that I really enjoy. And yeah, just here I'm here to be accountable. I'm here publishing content, and give me a thumbs up, encourage us. And if you're watching this, and by the way, we have a webinar coming up on Wednesday at 7 p.m. You can go to 10croreclub.com/webinar. So I learned the art of creating that thing here. So thank you so much for joining, and I'll start bringing in guests. And if you are a founder who needs any kind of help in investments or connections, do get in touch with me. In any platform you're watching, be it on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, do get in touch with me, and we'll be happy to help you to grow your business this year and going forward.